for joining me for a cup of coffee and a happy, positive thought in the morning. So, before we get started today, I'm talking about chemistry. On a personal note, this is the 25th show. Still don't have a name. Still debating names. It's going to happen in the next couple days. I guess I'm going to have to get tough and make a decision. But 25 days of coming live to you in the morning, just getting started. So, this show is a product of the fact that I love reading and looking at articles on happiness and sharing what I learn. And specifically today, I've been trying to learn about the chemistry of happiness. Now, let's be fair. I was not great. In chemistry. This is not a science lesson. So this is going to be sciencey, but not a chemistry lesson. So I dig happiness on a molecular level, right? I dig knowing what's going on inside our body and the correlation to how we feel, and the fact that there is science process behind it, right? I like to know that on a molecular level, what's happening when we're feeling happy or sad or joyful. And I like this because if we know what's happening when these good feelings are happening, basically we can reverse engineer that information to help ourselves to happiness, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because if it can be reverse engineered, behavior drives chemicals, which drive our mood, which drive our good mood and our well-being, which in turn drives our positive behavior, and then we're back to the victorious cycle versus the vicious cycle, right? So let's talk about chemistry. There are the four big chemicals of happiness. There are four of them. And of course, let's just preface this by saying we're going to talk about a super complex system that are all interdependent, and I'm going to talk about science at a pretty simple level, right? But it's such great information. It's worth sharing. It's worth knowing, and don't be afraid because it's not going to scare you from like this was a chemistry class, right? In our quest to be aware, right? We talk every day about happiness awareness, just being aware of being the present moment. And in our quest to be aware and to be objective, right? To be present, calm, in control in the moment, not swept away in a swirl of emotions. We want to be able to consider all outcomes and all that. Well, this state we're describing, this calm, happy, in control state, well, this is our center, right? Let's think of life as a hurricane. Life is swirling around us, and you can't control it because life is tough, and we all got stuff, right? We got kids, we got work, we got friends, we got things, people are depending on us. And in the center of the hurricane is the eye. Quiet, still, peace. And that's where you want to operate from, is the I, right? Well, the state we are describing, is this in-control person has high levels of the big four chemicals. Now, each of these chemicals play a different role in happiness, and that's what we're going to talk about. Because, like say, usually we talk about dopamine, right? Number one, dopamine. The big four are, let's start with dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. The big four. Those are our big four happiness chemicals that we're going to think about this morning. I am not sure why I'm so blurry this morning. Anyway, the big four. Dopamine. Dopamine's usually the go-to chemical when people talk about happiness, right? Dopamine's usually the one we talk about first. And actually, dopamine is really a little bit more about anticipation than the actual happiness. It's kind of a striving emotion, right? So a dopamine, a little jolt of dopamine, it acts like a happy feeling, like when someone likes your post or your video, right? Or when you fill in a checkbox or cross something off your to-do list, right? It's meant to motivate you towards your future goals, one step at a time. And without dopamine, well, ancient hunters, they might not have ever been motivated to do more than hunt rabbits and build small fires, huh? But then we started building society, hunting big game, changing life for the people all over the world. Those motivations came from dopamine. It helps you get your to-do list done. Now you got to be careful. Dopamine can be addictive because the feeling that comes from dopamine is not really happiness, right? It's really more momentary pleasure. It's really a little jolt of, like your coffee, right? A little jolt of caffeine. And we can get addicted to this. Did you know you can get addicted to Facebook? You can get addicted to those little likes on your posts and things. So you gotta be on the watch about dopamine. But we need it, right? It's what like I said, gives you the rush and the pleasure from getting things done, and that keeps us on task, right? Keeps us on the to-go list. So how can you get some dopamine? Exercise, music, meditation, sunlight. They did a study. 68 healthy adults found that those who received the most sunlight exposure in the previous 30 days had the highest density of dopamine in their systems. So, each happy chemical triggers a different good feeling. Dopamine produces the joy of finding what you seek. The eureka, I got it feeling. All right, the next one is oxytocin. Now, this is a neurochemical that allows and encourages us to be social creatures, right? It helps us with empathy. That helps us to bond with other people. In fact, it's called the hugging drug. That's right. The hugging drug, because it's released during physical contact. And it's the feeling behind love, friendship, deep trust. It boosts our immune system, makes us better problem solvers, and it actually makes us resistant to that. You know, that little addiction of the dopamine? Well, the oxytocin can actually guard you against the addictive qualities of the dopamine. Makes you resistant, because this offers the oxytocin offers long feelings of calm and safety, and right, it has long-term benefits, long good feelings. It bonds us. It makes us hug our children. It makes us want to be with other people. It's the social chemical, right? The hugging drug. And you can increase this increase oxytocin in your system by increasing the number and the quality of your interpersonal interactions. And honestly, this is the secret to long life, and the secret to happiness is rich and satisfying personal relationships. Well, you can impact those, right? You can make those better and give yourself more oxytocin and more feelings of love and comfort. So how? Well, working with others, right? Sharing a meal, giving a gift, sharing an emotion. I really love you, right? I really appreciate you. Listening. Now, these are all twofers, because not only are you filling up your own oxytocin, you're filling up their oxytocin levels as well. So, again, energy is exponential, right? It's an energy expander. When we interact with people and we exchange, it's exponential. The energy created is new and exciting. You get so excited. Now, you can also boost your oxytocin with yoga, music, either making it or listening to it, massage, share feelings of goodwill. Tell someone you love them. Tell them how much you appreciate them. Tell them how wonderful they look today. Spend time with your friends. Cuddle, hug, have sex. It's about touch. Get some more oxytocin in your system. Now, if you're in a good mood, the chances are you can thank your serotonin levels for this. You probably got plenty, right? Just like if you're in a really bad mood, you can blame it on lack of serotonin. Now, 80% of serotonin exists in our gut, and our gut feeling, right? Our gut reaction, sure. Oh, and we have some watchers this morning, Faith and Sarah, and good morning. If you're watching, leave me a note. I love to see who's sharing the morning with me. All right, serotonin exists in our gut, and it's governed by your hunger. So that's why you're hangry. That's right. That is a real thing. Hangry is a real thing. Not just a Snickers commercial. You can be hangry, and that is a physical state. So this is a social chemical, just like the oxytocin, a social chemical, but this one works in a different way, right? This one is about pride, loyalty, status. When we feel accomplishment, when we are recognized, we are experiencing the effects. We are experiencing the effects of serotonin when you're receiving your diploma, right? When you win the race, when you finish the race. It creates strong positive emotions. Now here's an interesting fact. Leaders are motivated, and this is through high levels of serotonin, right, to excel and grow. Grow their influence, to win awards, to be competitive, right? But not only does the serotonin in that leader motivate him or her for personal drive, personal success, but the people who follow that leader also compels the followers to do well. They don't want to let an inspirational leader down. Serotonin plays a role in many crucial systems in our body beyond just our well-being and happiness. It's believed to affect our digestion, our bone growth, even organ development. So we want serotonin, right? How do you boost serotonin? Well, sunlight. It's very linked to sunlight. Exercise. Isn't this funny how the list is the same for increasing every good chemical in our body? For almost everything we want to accomplish, the list is the same. Exercise, meditate, get good sleep, dance, stretch. Healthy gut bacteria, right? And I'm not going to get into health lessons, but that's a whole... I'm doing the research on all of these supplements and chemicals, supplements though, and diet suggestions everywhere. I didn't go into those. I'm not a health expert. We're just going to talk about, I'm talking about the non-eating part. But healthy gut flora, very important to your happiness chemical set. You need a gut health. You need to make sure you have good gut health. Ooh, that sounds good. Okay. And then finally, the endorphins. We all talk about it. We've heard of endorphins, right? Endorphins help us mask pain and discomfort. That's what help us work through the pain. That's why they're kind of associated. Endorphins are kind of associated with fight or flight emotions, right? But if you're working to design your happiness, endorphins help you get through the times that are not quite so happy, or maybe are a little tough physically on you. You've heard of the runner's high, right? Exercise. Pushing our body physically releases endorphins that actually mask pain, that truly help us ignore the pain, push through the pain, keep going in spite of the pain. Happiness helps you see the big picture, or endorphins help you stay focused, right? Because you're not focused on the pain. They help you stay focused on the big picture, on the big goal. They help us deal with pain. They make us feel high, the runner's high. They make us feel happy. It's a happy, nice, relaxed feeling. We all want lots of endorphins hanging out in our system. Now, you know what? How do I get some endorphins? You know what? This is a fun one. A cold shower in the morning boosts your endorphins. I myself have been working to work the cold shower into my morning routine. It's good. It raises your vibration. It's good for you in health-wise in so many ways. It helps your immune system. But it's so hard. I'm up to like 30 seconds in the morning, and it's all I can do. I'm waiting for number 28, 29, 30, so I can get out. But try it. I'm trying it. I'm going to see how this works. Actually, only 1 or 2 minutes can bring you benefits. Like I said, working my way up there. I'm at 30 seconds. You know what helps you release endorphins is the joyful feeling you get from a belly laugh, right? Just laughing releases endorphins. This is why we love comedy. It's why we watch comedy sketches, why we watch our favorite comedy shows, why we love to tell jokes and laugh with each other. Literally, laughing releases endorphins that make you feel great. I've heard people that say they use laughing as therapy for depression, as therapy to turn around health issues. I've heard that there's a thing called laughing yoga, where you laugh through your yoga to get the benefits of laughing and yoga. I'm going to have to look into that. All right, but that's why you feel better when you exercise, right? Endorphins are predictable. They can be produced on command, right? And they make you feel better. And so more ways to get more endorphins besides just exercise? Dark chocolate. Eat a piece of dark chocolate in the morning or every day. Exercise. Again, we're talking about exercise, releasing that energy. energy expander. And actually, group exercises is a multiplier. Again, energy meeting energy expands and makes more energy. Now, I'm sure this is not a scientific fact, and my brother will probably comment about how that's actually not how energy works. But when you go to yoga class, or you go to spin class, or you go to dancercise in a room full of people who are all exercising together, there is indeed group energy that can help lift you up and pull you along. And if you've been in a group class, you know what I mean. Okay, dark chocolate, exercise, music, create something, create some art, create some music, bake a cake, dance. Turn on the Pandora or the Spotify or whatever you listen to, your favorite song, and dance in the kitchen while you're cooking dinner tonight, right? Pull your kids or your grandkids or your husband into the room, turn on your favorite song, and dance like no one's watching. Not only will you have a moment of interaction and release some oxytocin, you'll raise your endorphins and release some serotonin. And maybe some dopamine. Okay, drink a glass of wine. That's good. Laugh again. Laughing. Acupuncture. Acupuncture is actually a really good way to release endorphins. I'm not sure why. We're going to look into that. I want to know more about acupuncture and our friend meditation. So, that's the story, right? Working together, these chemicals create our desirable brain states. Now, here's a really interesting fact. Most of the information I peruse multiple articles to put together the show in the morning, right? I do research and I read everything and I try to come up with a summary ideas. But a lot of this information came from an article in Technology Advice. Okay, and this article was about gamers and for gamers. It was for gamer designers, and it was explaining the 4 chemicals and how they're each different and how gaming touches each one of these chemicals for happiness. That's why we love gaming. That's why gaming is so huge. It's designed to touch and produce all 4 happiness chemicals. Who knew, right? And this article was telling game designers how to do this, how to make sure when they designed their game, they were hitting all 4. The dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, the endorphins, how they were hitting it all to produce the best feelings of happiness. This is why gaming is so popular. It releases happiness chemicals, and some of them are addictive. So, the good news... So, gaming produces the same chemicals as happiness. The good news is, what this means is, though, is if they can engineer a game to bring you happiness, to hit all 4 of the big 4 chemicals, you can engineer your life for happiness. You can be aware of those levels, how you feel when you don't have them, and what to do when you do have them. So you maintain a high level of the big 4 as much as is possible in your life. That's our goal, right? You can engineer your life for happiness by being aware of the levels of happiness in your brain. Now, I think this is fascinating. I've just touched on a very giant subject, but still pretty amazing stuff. Better living through chemistry just doesn't mean what it used to, does it? So, there you go. We have an opportunity to take advantage, use science, right? We're gonna use some science to make ourselves feel better. I'm gonna post a quick cheat sheet in the comments when I'm done here of the four happiness chemicals and how to hack them. I think this is important information. I hope it helps you. But let's finish up today like we do with the quote board. Attention is the way social primates measure status. It's highly rewarding because it causes the release of brain chemicals such as dopamine and endorphins. Didn't even mention serotonin, right? The hugging drug. Oh, that's oxytocin. Didn't even mention oxytocin, the hugging drug. So much goodness. The meeting of 2 personalities is like the contact of 2 chemical substances. If there is any interaction, both are transformed. Life is chemistry. Dancing and running shake up the chemistry of happiness. Dancing, running, both on our list of what to do to get you some more happiness chemicals, right? Happiness is the chemical. I am the alchemist. That's right. You're mixing those chemicals every day. You can either be unaware and let them fill in how they want, or take charge. You can control your bad mood by releasing the endorphins, aka the feel-good chemical that the brain releases. This happy neurotransmitter is scientifically proven to enhance the mood of humans, right? You can make it happen. It's more than just saying, cheer up, girl, you can do this. We're going to add some chemistry. I wanted to make a clever chemistry joke, but the best ones are gone. It's a nerd joke. Okay, that's our show for today. Better living through chemistry. Go out and get you some endorphins and some serotonin, some oxytocin. No, not oxycodone. Don't do that. Some oxytocin, some endorphins. Go make sure you got high levels and make it a happy day.